My father was a foreign service officer. With his job, my mother and him got to travel significantly. And with that, it took us to living in various different countries, with it being Ecuador, Panama, Honduras, Guatemala, Northern Africa, where my mother and my father lived in Morocco, and then back to the United States. Because of our upbringing and our moving around, we experienced a lot of different cuisines. And we wanted to focus the cuisine at the Royal to be a little bit of a melting pot, but it definitely has a very, very strong Colombian influence, and it all comes from her.
We're here in the home of Paul and Gloria Carlson, talking about their restaurant, The Royal, in Washington, D.C. This is At the Table, and I'm Austa. So tell me, I guess, before we get into talking about The Royal, just a little bit about yourselves, where you're from.
I am from Colombia, from Bogota, and I came here a long time ago. I was living in California. I was studying there. And then after that, we have been living in so many different countries because my husband young.
Well, I was born in Colombia, but for me, I probably spent half of my life at this point overseas. The beginning part of my life I was always overseas, and then I've been in the States now about 20 years.
When did you guys first realize that you wanted to get into the culinary business?
Well, I think food was always a big part of our lives. I remember in my childhood being part of the kitchen table with my mother, and just always being in the kitchen was a big thing. And my mother has always been a fantastic cook, so we were always the kitchen was always a focal point of the house. And then for me, it was just, I knew at an early age that's what I wanted to be in. I decided that I wanted to open a restaurant about 11 years ago, and I opened a restaurant here on New Street called Vinoteca. Through that process, my mother was very involved in a lot of things, and so was my sister, and so was my father. And I think that over the years, I've always loved it, but I think they kind of started to see the business a little bit. And then when I decided that I wanted to go do another project, they all showed the interest that they really enjoyed a lot of the things that they had experienced through me.
Yeah, when we were living in other countries, we were very interested about the culture because I like to learn about the other cultures. But you know, food is one part of the culture, so that's why we say probably we can use our experience in the other countries, and we learn so much from them. We would like to share probably with other people.
The thing about DC, which is really interesting, is that it's not that this concept would necessarily work anywhere. DC is made up, this part of the city, is made up of so many people who are well-traveled, familiar with other cultures. And a lot with the federal government being here, a lot of people do get to travel a lot internationally for it. And so they've been able to experience it, or they've heard it through the grapevine about different things, about different cultures in different countries. Even though not everybody has the experience eating an arepa or an empanada or Colombian food or South American food or whatever it is, people have some sort of connection or understanding about it. Yeah. And so people in DC are very open to trying different cuisines. People are a little bit more open-minded in an area like DC because of those experiences, which makes it a lot easier for us to showcase what we want to do and people being really receptive to it.
Yeah, we think 10 years ago, probably in DC there were no more restaurants, probably from Mexico, and probably Chinese, Salvador. But nowadays you can find all kinds of restaurants from everywhere. People are interested in trying that kind of food. And besides that, because people are more educated here than in other places, they have been exposed to it.
I love that. I mean, I think the first thing I ever got there was just coffee. I didn't even know that it was like a full restaurant until a couple times after that I went.
that's actually a really interesting part of the concept. For me, having been in the industry for a while, one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to accomplish a establishment or venue that had more opportunity in the restaurant industry than just your regular 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And I think that as this industry evolves, we find ourselves trying to find situations where we can take care of customers in different ways. And particularly now where we saw it as an opportunity of wanting to create an establishment that just was open more hours of the day. The really nice thing about doing this is that it created us a lot of flexibilities to try a lot of different things. And in a market or in an area like LaJoy Park where it's a community, it's a perfect partnership. We're hoping that we will be a cornerstone of the community. We believe that we've already kind of established those roots, but that's what we want, where a member of the community feels very comfortable coming in really early in the morning, or if they want to come in really late at night.
Yeah.
And we have guests that come in twice a day sometimes. I don't think we ever expected the Royal to have had as much success with its food program. We were aiming to be a very cocktail-oriented program and coffee-oriented program with a food program on the side. Somehow our food program has been the leading factor at the Royal. I think people are, at one, either not expecting for there to be as big of a food program as there is. Two, they are not expecting for the amount that goes into the food program and the quality of the food program to be what it is. I mean, we butcher our own animals, we make our own sausage, we bake our own breads, majority of our breads, I apologize. If we can bring in something locally, we can. But at the same token, we go above and beyond to the point where we try to source products that are not normal to see. So we like to bring in, if it's a fruit from Colombia, maybe we can't get it in fresh, but maybe we'll find a quality product so that we can showcase the flavors of that fruit. And I think just people aren't expecting to see, certain flavors and certain use of certain ingredients in the way that we have. It's an incredible experience, and I'm sure most people would love to be in me and my sister's shoes, because it's an opportunity for us to continuously be close to our family and our parents, and it's wonderful. We interact every day, and we interact probably even more so because besides being a family and interacting with a family, we're also running a business. So we get the opportunity to sit down and discuss all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, to me, the value is just being able to spend time with them. And to me, I wouldn't give that up.